Okay, welcome to the meeting, the March meeting of the Dudley Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners. Please, why don't we start with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we've got a couple sets of meeting minutes. January 8th and February 5th. We didn't approve the January minutes because we didn't have a quorum of folks who were at the January meeting. Felt best to wait. Interesting, Ken.
Sorry?
Interesting, Ken.
Right at the beginning of the pledge.
Okay, so what's your pleasure with the meeting minutes for January 8th?
I'll make a motion to accept the January 8th, 2020 meeting minutes as written.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we got a motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then the four yes, one abstain. Okay, and then February 5th.
Make a motion to accept the February 5th, 2020 meeting minutes as written.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstained, I was absent.
Okay. And so that'll be, again, 4 yea, 1 abstention. All right. Permission to hold a car wash.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Do I come up there or do I stay here?
Come to the
right.
table, introduce yourself, and then,
My name is Tony Zanotti. I'm a resident here in Dudley. I'm the assistant softball coach at Shepherd Hill. We're currently, the softball and baseball fields are poor at this point, and we're working on a project to raise money to fix both softball and baseball fields. The school has kicked in some money to do some work on the outfield, but the parents are raising money along with the kids through a campaign to redo both fields up at the school. So we'd like to run a car wash. We'd like to run it at the fire station. So we're requesting use of town water in order to do that. I think the date we were looking for was the 21st
March
of
21st.
March. Yes,
Saturday?
it's a Saturday morning. Yep, I think we were looking for 9 to 2 with the
And
hours we threw
have
out.
you spoken with the fire chief?
We have not. This is my first stop was you folks.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know
The room is very limited. in room.
how that's gonna work there now with the new building.
We can offer it at our place if we have a nice turnaround. I mean, it's during the weekend, doesn't bother us any. It's on the weekend, right? You do it?
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
I have no
What
problem.
is your place?
Right next door, this basically.
Right next to where the gazebo is,
Just
just,
Park
Oh,
Road.
yeah, okay.
We have a nice turnaround, the hoses, they're a little congested over there with cars if they have a call.
No, absolutely.
I mean, it's up to you
it's
guys.
very different over there now.
Yeah, no,
It's just the only place I've ever seen one done in
Yeah,
town,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's why we
They've
were
been
asking
there
for that, so.
Been there for years.
It's no problem for us to have the nice hose and everything you need. It's, like I said, it's a nice turnaround, there's places to park.
That'd be fantastic.
You'll require, if you do it there, then you would require more bodies down on the road because it's not up
you're
top,
not-
it's not visible.
Correct, yeah,
You-
right. It's not visible, but you get plenty of kids with signs. You'll
Yeah,
figure it out, right?
that's-
Do you have a rain date?
There's a place for the kids to sit, so you'll be all set.
Yeah, exactly. We did not have a rain date, but if we did have a rain date, I would just ask for the following weekend,
Okay.
so the 21st and then the 28th.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve a car wash use of town water, either at the fire station or the water department. On the 21st with a rain date, the 28th.
I'd second that motion, Mr. Chairman, but the only thing I ask is, George, you usually ask for a certain, like, biodegradable soap or something like that? What did we ask for in the past?
It's gonna be down by the well, so.
Oh, yeah, the
I know we've never refused a car wash, but you always, in the past, we always
That shouldn't
recommended,
mean,
you know?
maybe we shouldn't affect that well field is.
but even still, we're, yeah,
I mean, if they can have it, it's always nice to, they use a degradable type soap.
biodegradable
Yeah.
type car soap.
It'd probably be even a good thing at the
Most of
fire
them are.
station too, same areas, you know, because that's a whole delicate area
Okay.
all the way through.
Most,
That's fine.
Car wash soaps
Whatever
are
you
nowadays.
request, we'll do.
That's what we've always asked for. Like I said, we never denied a car wash, but we always asked for that.
Just to protect the
Particular-
environment.
That's right, absolutely.
So,
okay, motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
aye.
Unanimous.
Okay.
Good luck, and
Thank
who
you.
knows,
Yeah,
maybe
Tony,
we'll-
you can check with the fire chief, and you can also call the office if you have to check with George and do a drive-by at the pump station to see how it'll work out.
Okay,
You
and then
know?
just choose which location
Yeah,
works
whatever you
better.
think
is
I think that
logical.
actually location works best,
Yeah,
just
'cause I-
based on if the fire department gets
Yeah,
a
it's
call, we're in the
new
way,
building and everything.
it makes
It's
more sense.
Pretty restricted.
Okay,
Take a ride and come by during the day, we'll
Okay.
talk,
absolutely.
whatever you need.
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. George Hall is not here. 71 Mason Road. Let's see, looks like. Permission to connect to, you want to connect to town sewer?
Yes,
Okay, you have a failed septic system now, I'm gathering?
I have a closing date on the home for April 17th.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
you sell it, you're the seller.
Yes,
Oh, okay, and, okay.
Should we be doing this with the seller or the buyer?
Well, probably with whoever wants to do it, we'll have a contractor come in to us, lay out a plan for us, so we can see what he plans on doing. But that would be the time to do it. I don't know how you guys want to work it, either the realtor or the seller, the buyer or the seller, whoever we determine is going to do the job. Because
Yeah, it's
you
on
have an
me.
existing issue, well there now.
Are you real estate or are you the
Do you wish to
seller?
connect before you sell it?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Do you wish to connect before you sell the property?
That would be great, if it can be done. Yes.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
That's up to you in the
Yes.
contract.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can't get an approval because I don't have a plan, I don't know what they're doing, so I need to have the contractor, whoever you want to hire, and there's a few out there that can do the job. come in and
I
do
do
it.
know who I want to do the
They
job.
can come see us.
Yep,
We can look at
sure.
the plan, and then we can approve it right the next meeting, 1st of April, once it's all set.
Okay, so that,
I think you
All right,
can.
Chairman, we can give approval on the.
Contingent on-
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Contingent on-
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
approve it
Yeah.
contingent
Inspection. On the inspection.
on
George reviewing the.
Review of the
review of the
plans.
plans.
With the contractor. Because there's possibly a lateral left off of that house when the sewers went up Mason Road.
Yeah, we try to look at the manholes and see if.
So they're gonna have to locate that lateral.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was left out.
Okay, so,
Make a motion to allow sewer connection at 71 Mason Road, pending the approval of the plans by our superintendent.
And all fees will have to be
All
paid
fees.
yeah,
for the connection.
okay. The motion,
Second?
a second. Any further discussion?
Do you discuss fees with that?
I believe that fee is $2,400. Am I correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
Just keep in touch with Jen at the office and George. And
Are you on town water there, Linda? Or are you on a well?
I just, well,
Are you
so
on a
it's
well?
just,
Oh,
yes, so it's just the sewer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just to FYI, you're gonna need to put, you can either put a meter on your well, or we have a
Correct.
set fee for the sewer every year.
Correct, I was planning on the meter on the well.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you've
that's fine.
you've been, okay. David Haines?
I can give a little update on the next one. He's probably not here. Mike and I reviewed that plan. The revisions were looked at. They finally gave us revisions on an architectural plan that we were able to review. We actually even went over with the engineer for a period of time. Everything is what Mike and I want to have done. Everything is set up properly. Mr. Haines is also, I've asked him if he would contribute something towards a generator there, like I stated a while back, for Lions Road. He's graciously...
I have it in writing.
Yeah, I have been writing, but he's graciously to give us $7,500 towards a generator. We're bidding it out now. Probably going to be somewhere in the $17,000 to $20,000 range for a diesel generator, because I can't put a gas one over, there's no gas there. So I'll have a small, we've got LaFleur Electric looking in the type that we need. I already have a printout, I don't have it with me, the type that we need for a diesel tank generator that can be mounted just behind the pump station, right behind the cabinetry there, on a pad. So that'll alleviate a lot of problems about bringing up a portable generator to tie in. Takes a long time to do that. Now they got 18 more houses there, and I explained to him, with 18 more houses going on the system, pumping directly into the station, this will be a major help to put a generator in there to get on pretty timely power for emergency. So he was able to do that for us. So that'll help us greatly. But to the board, we're all set. I think the board did approve this anyway, upon our approval.
This has been going on for a couple of years.
Yes,
He's ready to go. He's gonna go before the planning next, so.
okay. Tie and bond.
Jeff?
So, at our last, bring out the rest of the board up, at our last meeting, we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with Tie and Bond and
Town administrator.
the town administrator. Coming out of that was a discussion of, when we were talking about how the SRF loan and payback, financing options and things like that. And out of that, we started talking about its impact on our rates. And that brought us to talking about rate studies, and the last one we had done was, we pulled together what we thought we needed for now. The discussion was as to whether or not we should be looking into having a formal, official rate study done with bringing in all of the structures and analyses. So that's where we're at now. That's why Jeff is here tonight.
I put in your packets, as best I could, a breakdown of what's going on in a series of events here. This is not just the fact of what we discussed at the workshop, with the main brunt of it being new wells, upgrades to rehab of Station 1, tanks. There's also possible mandated treatments that may be involved through the state coming up. I won't get into it greatly, it is on your packets. Jeff can elaborate on that too, along with the rate study after, just so if you read it, you understand where we may be at. It could greatly change our scheme of things in a way, and I don't want to elaborate yet till we have testing going on right now. It's going to take a couple weeks to do the testing and to get the results a couple weeks after that. But we have to be prepared one way or the other with everything for the articles for the town meeting, so that we can jump in any direction we need to. And that's the best I can put it right now. This is something even the state's a little bit queasy about, because they're trying to get all their ducks in a row too. And like I said, I don't know yet where we're going to go with that. We did have a test done of the new well, and the rate, we're going on a second test with that well right now for reasons that I've
Let's
listed.
deal with the rate study
Yeah,
first.
well, he's
and then
gonna
we
do
get
both together, that's what I'm saying, so, just so you have an
What,
update.
George, what test on where?
PFAS. PFAS testing. Okay, well, Jeff?
Let me speak to the rate study.
Sure.
So we understand that you're envisioning some capital projects over the next few years, so that will incur extra debt upon the water and sewer departments separately. So you want to make sure that you can afford the payback of those projects. And the way we would do that is a rate study. It looks back historically at your expenses and your revenue, and then it looks forward at your expenses and revenue, taking into account the upcoming projects. And it's a spreadsheet model which we can evaluate different options for projects moving forward. So it can just be a future project of unknown timeline, but we can just put that value in the projected revenue or projected expenses. So what the rate study would do is kind of look back 5 years and look ahead 10 years as to how your rates might need to be adjusted in order to make that payback period. Does everyone have the proposal that was submitted? So we proposed on primarily the capital projects are on the water side. So we expect you to proceed on that. There's a cost associated with that. If you decide to do both a water and a sewer study, there's some efficiencies in doing them simultaneously. So there's a little bit of a reduction. It's not double the cost for the two.
Okay. We've been driving pretty hard the past year or so on much-needed upgrades.
Jeff, can you also get in some of the numbers weren't there at the meeting to explain about the SRF too, the kickback, the thing with that too?
Principal forgiveness?
Sure. So the town's water and sewer projects that were submitted for SRF funding were on the draft list for being funded. And they will be finalizing that list in about a month and a half or so, but it'll stay on the list. Because of the tier level that Dudley is in the eyes of the SRF, there's some principal forgiveness that is also being allowed. So, for example, on the water side, it's a little over a $5 million SRF loan request, but there's a 13-point-something% principal forgiveness if certain dates are met in proceeding with the projects. So that's, I think, $800,000 and change in forgiveness of the
So the
principal.
project is gonna have milestones as you go along with bonus?
You need to submit the documents to DEP by certain deadlines and be under contract with contractors by
Right.
certain dates.
Yeah, okay.
So that's to be sure that shovel-ready projects have been
Correct.
shovel-ready.
Yep.
Okay.
And the sewer too is about 80 or something thousand back.
The sewer is about a $1 million project. 1.1 perhaps. And that one, I think, was a 6% in change principal forgiveness. These are subject not to lowering, but to increasing. If all other projects on the list don't move forward, they kind of redistribute the money that's available to the projects that do move forward. So it might even be more than they project.
Excuse me, Jeff, you just mentioned sewer. I don't remember talking about sewer unless you're talking about like phase 3 of this I&I issue.
It was.
Yeah, so phase 3 of the
The
I&I.
correction,
Yeah,
how we're gonna
yeah.
attack that issue.
Yeah, so the SRF is broken into two parts, drinking water and clean water. The clean water is what I just said is the sewer.
That's the deal with the I&I.
Yeah, because right now we're on what, we did phase 2 already on I&I last
Yeah.
summer?
Phase 3 will be this spring, and then the result of that will be a construction package.
Okay.
There's a developmental phase, that's the other thing. coming
In other words,
into that.
that'll be, the final stage is the big money stage.
The corrective
The
action.
corrective
now.
action stage. yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And I think also, Jeff, when we talked about like 5.2 million, that was the lowball cost. And also, we also have approximately $1 million out now on a loan that we, to implement jobs from a year or so ago. So 5.2 is a low of 6.2 currently right now, so that's,
Yeah.
I know you're here to talk about the rate study, but that's for the board to start figuring out with the town administration when things go forward, how to crack that nut.
It also sets the department up for, 5, 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
You don't want to do a project and just stop. You need to make progress to make sure your infrastructure is up to date.
With all of the,
And some of the previous
Asbestos
debts
pipe.
coming off to kind of counter some of that.
all the asbestos pipe and everything else.
We were planning on attending the capital planning meeting next Tuesday night as well, just, for,
That might be a joint meeting with FAA, Capital, and Selectmen. Rich is trying to combine it all, especially with you got a sewer presentation going on and a water presentation going on, so they have an idea what we're
Tuesday
doing.
night.
Yeah, I think this
What time
language,
is that meeting?
I haven't gotten the details.
Okay.
Then when you find out.
Send it up.
Yeah.
Send it up, post it, yeah.
I'll talk to Michelle tomorrow.
I think the language of rate study was something we were never aware of prior. That's why it was brought up by you and your other co-worker.
Yes.
It opened up some eyes.
Yes.
The idea of doing a rate study.
It's always been, trying to pull together the best
Yeah, to get out-
guesses of
like we did to get out of
what we need to do to stay afloat.
So, I don't know, so part of our meeting tonight, do we have to have a vote if we want to go forward with this particular rate study? So we can get that as an article,
Yeah, that needs to
right?
get approved to let them begin the process.
And I think we were only talked about water at that particular meeting, but now I see it, water and sewer only makes more sense, in my opinion.
Does this need to be an article, or can it just be?
No, it just can be
added into the budget?
just to be into the budget.
It'd be a line item under the
Yeah.
operating budget.
Yeah, that doesn't have to be an
So
item.
we can cover this under the budget?
Yeah, but can you cover 15,000 out of your water
Yeah.
and 10 out of your sewer?
Yeah, we'll
You
have
think
to.
Do we have enough?
We'd be all right.
Out of your
Yeah, but
budget?
just, we need to do it. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, do we have enough? in
Yeah,
the
we get
sewer?
enough. We do. Yeah, sewer's doing okay. Actually, sewer's doing better than they ever have right now. Our revenues are matched up pretty good with sewer. Water's a little bit behind, but not by much, considering what we've been through. So we're doing okay. We'll take it for where we need it. We'll take it from where we need it.
okay. So we need to approve this tonight to move forward?
And on your report, Jeff, there's a lot of homework for us to do in the office, too.
So we do have
You've got a lot of research.
an associated
That you'll be looking for.
data request memo to you to give us the data that we need to pull the rate study together.
That'll be your raise right there.
If we can get our administrative assistant,
Yeah.
moving,
And
we
we'll
can.
call you,
No
to talk
problem.
about it.
So it's part of your training.
What's the turnaround? We do have it is, so once we get the data, it's about 5 weeks to pull together a base model, and then we'd like to meet with George, and then about 4 weeks from there for the report, so about nine weeks.
So we're talking mid-May?
Yeah, hopefully early May.
Okay.
And to elaborate back to the point when we were talking about this at the workshop, that SRF loan is, call it due around the 2024 timeframe. A lot of our debt service comes off at that time. Of course, when we take it on, it's a good one,
Yeah.
but at least
Yeah.
it gives us a little breathing room right there. Just that some of the board members that didn't go, just understand.
Would you be sending a representative to attend a rate hearing? We have one out of this?
Yeah, we would
Just to
we'd be able
answer
to do that,
questions
yeah.
if the public comes in?
Yeah. In our one of our key people that are involved in these rate studies, we'd probably like to present to the board, as well.
I know this was sent out a couple days ago with instructions to review it in advance, and unfortunately I didn't, but I'm aware of most of, the next couple of nights I'll have some time to read.
Yeah, you'll be on the government dime.
Yeah. Actually, no, I'm in drill status, so that's only during the day. So what's the board's pleasure?
Did anyone else read through it all? I read through it, but I just didn't know if you want to be.
I read
voting on
through,
something that
I
you
read
didn't
through,
read
I read through bits and pieces of it tonight. It's been crazy this week.
Digested.
There is a lot to digest.
So if you're trying to approve this now, it'd be into this year's budget, not next year's budget. So you have enough in this year's budget left.
This year's budget, they could, actually, in 9 weeks, you'd be close to the new fiscal.
but-
Yeah, if we approve it now and
Yeah, it has
they
to be
start
this-
moving
if
forward.
they
it'll
approve
be
it
in
now,
this
yeah.
fiscal.
Yeah,
It'll
you'd have
follow
an
this fiscal
understanding
year.
by May's town meeting.
Well, town meeting, that still wouldn't apply. It'd have to fall under the special town meeting in order to move money over for it.
Yeah, I'll take money where I have to do it. I mean, it's, like I said, we gotta start biting bullets on this whole thing, and we're committed to it now.
Yeah, you just need to make sure you
Yeah,
have
We'll
enough
make
in the
it,
budget.
we'll make it work one way or the other. That's what we'll have to do. This was a big push with not only just the board at the meeting, but the town administrator, town treasurer. They recommended this whole thing too, to do this, because, if you're doing this kind of big projects and stuff, you don't want to go out there in the public with a blind eye, babble it off numbers that you're not really understanding. You need to have the support behind those numbers and where you have to go. It's a no-brainer at that
Oh, I
point.
agree. I'm in the middle of mine now.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll do what we have to, and Jeff, Time Bond's been good, we're working with us on whatever has to be done. We'll just move forward with it.
Well, if you take money out of your operating budget now, 15 on the water, 10 on the sewer, you can't take it out of your payroll account, right?
No.
I think you only take it out of your
Expenses.
expenses.
Like I said, I'm not doing any more borrowing. I'm doing what I need to do to get us through what we need and the essentials that we need, and we'll make it work one way or the other. We still have some money aside to do what we have to, and our revenues are boosting up exponentially now with all the problems we've been finding. That's gonna be a big favor for us down the line.
So are you under the assumption there's extra money in the salaries line?
No, I'm just saying, when we do that, we've got like 20 line items, let's say, in that budget. I think sometimes we even put like $10,000 into legal on a yearly
We
basis.
condensed some of the properties on the budget into
Yeah.
areas where, we had some, like capital this, that.
Yeah, capital
We
and-
combined it into one capital
Yeah,
line item,
yeah, one
a few other
budget.
legal, we kept things more,
'Cause
and we level funded a lot of
I just
items.
know chemicals haven't gone down and expenses haven't gone down.
Yeah.
Just,
Nothing goes down.
make sure, the bottom line is, you gotta make sure between now and June 31st, you have an extra 15,000 in one budget and an extra $10,000 in the other budget to pay for it. Otherwise, there's gotta be an article, I
Well, I was gonna say,
imagine.
if you were anticipating extra money in the salaries, you could do an article to transfer from salaries to expenses.
Yeah.
Like your overtime account or anything like that.
I gotta be careful on the salary thing, because we're gonna be moving into the phases of these new titling, and another new position coming up. So I'm holding monies on that account, but we can look at all sorts of avenues. We're gonna do a workshop ourselves to start looking at the pulling of this money for that, because I have to prioritize, and this is one of the big priorities right now. It has to fall in line and sequence with where we're going. So we'll make it work one way or the other.
I'll make a motion then that we go, we accept the quote from Ty and Bond of,
What you do, do we want to do them separate?
well, I'm just gonna spell it out with the options.
Oh, okay. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, because we've got the line there. To go with Ty and Bond for this fee study, and the water department is responsible for $15,000, And the sewer department will be responsible for a $10,000 fee, which the total is $25,000. And we instruct the superintendent to take the money from line items of our current budget. Anything else to add to it?
Just
Okay.
quickly, does this include the base connection fees and?
Yeah, any
All
any
that.
fees or connection fees, yeah.
I'll second.
Any
Motion
question, Mr.
been made and seconded. Any discussion?
My only question is, do we want to vote on them separately? In different enterprise?
I think with spelling out where the, I mean, we can do it separately if you want, but I don't think it's really necessary.
You don't feel we do- I'm just questioning, do we need to? That's all. If we don't, I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't believe we need to. It's a, the proper amounts as spelled out in the fee structure will come from the proper budgets. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Okay, it sounds like it's unanimous. Do we have a clean copy to sign? I
was just gonna say-
just wrote all over the front of it.
Yes, I do.
So that's the proposal.
Okay, and that was for water and sewer
Water and sewer.
simultaneously.
And that won't exceed 25,000, right, Jeff?
No, if you could just check the bottom where it
Yep.
says water and sewer.
Yeah, sewer simultaneously.
I just want to make a copy of this.
Sure.
Todd, that means your house was put up for collateral for that.
Yeah. You don't want it. Okay.
Have to do the next one,
Brief update on the other projects.
the one next, coming up, with the articles coming up and everything that,
So for the Springtown meeting, there's going to be 3 articles, I believe. One on water, that are accepting, or looking to appropriate funds for construction of the drinking water project, construction. One for looking for construction funds for the clean water project, the II. And one for doing the final design or development stage of the II project. We are working on the wording of those articles now. Should be able to have those to you early next week. And then town-bound council would need to review those as well.
And this is in order to, as I understand, if I'm understanding this correctly, this is in order to,
Thank you.
we have to appropriate, vote to spend the money
Yes.
that is, we've been approved in the SRF.
Yeah, so on the SRF, the 2 articles that would be SRF-related, one sewer, one water, needs to have certain language, and it needs to be appropriated by the town by June 30th of this year in order to meet one of the checkbox deadlines for the SRF to get that principal forgiveness.
Okay. So those are coming next week
Yes.
sometime?
Yep.
they also, just as a sidebar, in case that special treatment needs to be done, that's a separate type of.
Any special treatment regarding things that George is now discovering would have to be evaluated in the future. We don't have any set dollar values that are ready for you at this point in time.
The information should be in your packets regarding the scenario chain of events for that, so you have an idea what that's about. We're out testing right now. Things are going to be weeks down the road. Do we have any definite ideas about anything? So just want to let you know that.
And I know they haven't actually established the limits and put it in the regulation.
Yes.
Is there anticipated
So we're shooting at a
grants,
moving target.
funding available? I know they're putting out grants to do the sampling itself.
I already,
The testing.
I'm getting free.
Testing.
Right.
It's getting paid for.
Getting paid for
Um,
free.
And I believe, so SRF also takes on those types of projects as well. And I believe the offer on those projects are 0% interest instead of 2% interest. But that hasn't been submitted to them as a project yet, so it would in theory be on next year's list.
And is there an anticipation on timeline on coming into compliance if you exceed the levels they
Not
propose?
yet. If anything is needed, what we would recommend is we'll attend a meeting with DEP with George to see how DEP is looking to move forward with Dudley. It's still working.
It's a very, as I'm learning, it's a very difficult area for DEP, for us, for everybody out there. Everybody's screaming, everybody doesn't know what's gonna happen, what's going on, this and that. So we're learning as we go. What I do know is things will be set up, if it does come for some type of treatment, as a temporary basis, moving into a permanent type of basis. And that it goes through stages of various things. So we're not in that situation yet because I have testing going on right now. So I have to prepare for any possible avenue of where I have to go. And that could go a number of ways. So we'll keep everybody posted as we go.
I think one of the other ways I'm going to spend some time this weekend is researching PFAS and what all that is, what all of that is. But it's
Nice to have that kind of free time.
well, it's kind of a captive. In any case, so we're good with that. I'm trying to think, was there any, I thought there was another question I had for you folks. I can't.
You did a good job if you answered all those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think we have
Okay.
any kind of capital improvement plan. Did you ever provide a quote for preparing?
We didn't do a full capital improvement plan. We did a planning report to understand your needs a little bit, and there was a kind of a wish list of projects of upcoming. So we would certainly entertain those as being in the rate study. But if
I'm
you're
thinking more along the lines of a master plan.
Yep.
Like a 20-year master
Yep.
plan to kind of project all the projects and.
Yep.
I submitted a plan to the capital improvement regarding, it was about a 10-year or something like that, 15. I
Well, it's
can't
a
remember.
typical capital
Typical
plan,
capital,
but
but
if
not a,
if they
not
did
a
a,
major.
if they did a master plan, you look at it, you can project your potential growth, how much connections you can see adding.
Yeah, no, that's something that.
We can provide that, or another opportunity, if you can wait another year on that, is to apply for SRF funds for the planning dollars, which they'll have some grant money available for planning documents like that.
Grant money or SRF?
SRF grant money. So there's actually another line of SRF for grants, for planning grants.
Stuff, yeah.
oh, that's, I like the word grant.
Yes.
No, we already got one, so moving along.
So, okay, thank you. We'll look forward to your report
Okay.
on this part, at least in a couple of months, and then obviously with whatever information you need to do that. Stay in touch with Jen.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jen and
Appreciate it.
George,
Thank you.
Thank you.
our dynamic duo.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay. Water sewer reports.
I'll start with the sewer, well, I'm not gonna, you guys can read it all pretty much there, but I've got some updated stuff. Eisenhower Drive is plugging along. We're set to do work there the 17th, I believe, or just after that.
17.
Yeah, he might change it, move it a week up, because one of our guys is on vacation, so. But anyway, that's gonna be took in the riser top on that, pump station, so now that infiltration will stop. That's ponding every time there's a rainstorm. And that's the first step. Getting that sealed up, put the hatch back on the top, and be ready for the next phases coming up. Then we'll be in contact with Mr. Haney with our plan, or his plan, whichever he wants to do. And the planning board has, like I said, granted me all the money available on the bond money, which was 17 somewhere $1,000 or whatever, but it has to go through him too, Mr. Haney, for approval to use it. So we're taking it one step at a time, and so far we're at least getting the important thing done to start, so we won't have any more infiltration into the wet well. The other thing is Timmy is out with a broken ankle. It's looking like a month at least right now, could be longer. We did talk to Vinnie see if maybe James can come over and help whenever it's needed. We'll rotate some of our guys over to help him. I still want to keep some jetting programs starting up and go. So I'll help, or Tim or Luke will help, or whatever we have to do. Somebody will assist Mike. As far as main breaks go, I'm going to have to call in a highway guy because Timmy's one of our knowledgeable water guys too, so he knows down in the hole where they're working, how things are doing, there's a big help with that, so we'll make it work as best we can.
Just keep good records on cross-utilization, because we have to justify all that at the end of the year.
So Mike's 24/7 now, weekend coverage and everything?
Right now, Mike will be in, but I've offered to take it, or one of the other, I've offered to take it because I'm knowledge of doing it. And I told Mike to take if he could at least start using his time on, I don't care if it's Fridays or Mondays or whatever, sporadically, so I can cover the time frame when he's out. And if there's any problem, I can always call him or whatever like that if there's something we can't do. So I don't want him to have to not use some of his vacation time or whatever. It's coming up now. I haven't even used mine, so it's just come to that point. There's too much going on.
George, did he break it on the job, or I don't?
He was at home. He fell something. Yeah, I forgot what happened.
It's bad news anyways, either way. Just curious.
Yeah. So he's in a full cast right now. The doctor's going to evaluate him in a month to see if he can go into an air cast. If he can go into an air cast, he's maneuverable. They keep the ankle in check, so that's one nice thing about it. So he'll let us know, see where we go
I
from
don't
there.
think we should take a chance.
No.
Having him back on the job with an AK.
Well, that's up. The doctor has to write a note to say what he can do.
These positions
anyway, so it's
don't
not
lend
up to him.
themselves to light duty,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's pretty much that right there as far as sewer department goes. We'll make that work. Water department, we've got some meter. We've been doing an incredible job with the meters. They're about 150 meters have gone in, complete meters, into the households. And as I've listed, you've seen what they found in your report. There's been a lot of meters have stopped, clogged, jumpers, non-pinned, plumbing issues. It's quite a lot. So I'm expecting the revenues to keep climbing up and up and up.
Jumpers.
Where they relief, they take the meter out and put a jumper in, where they cross, there's no meter. Cheating. But there's no more meter. The water flows through the jumper. Then they can take the jumper out and put the meter back in.
I
Just a
understand
piece
what
of
they
tubing
did
or-
and what it is. My question is, what are we doing about it?
Well, what we do is we have to take pictures and we give them a fee or fine for doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have no set really reg on it. We have a reg that what we can do as far as fees and that, as far as, payback.
Yep.
But we also estimate we can look back at the bills and see when the problem started showing. Now, the new system I've got right now coming into play now will not only identify when the meter comes off the head, when the meter comes off, the head comes off the meter, it'll tell us right there that something's tampering with it. So once we get all these new systems in, that's gonna become easy for us to determine who's got problems, who's taking the heads off, whatever. It's
My
gonna be.
question is, the ones that we found, are we finding them?
We're addressing the issues, yeah.
Okay.
We're documenting it, taking pictures of it. We're giving them a chance to pay back what is owed and fees, and that's incorporated in the fees as far as, doing the thing. We can't have the meter police come out or anything, but we can at least enforce certain things with that, which we're doing. We're finding out that, like I said, it's also helping the customer too. A lot of them have got shut-offs that don't even work, leaks that have been going on for a long time, and some have the cellars that have got stone cellars or whatever, so they're not even knowing what's going on. Some people calling in, like some of the people want to come in for complaints about their water bill. We're finding it's all because they're plumbing issues. Nothing to do with the meter. They just not addressed plumbing issues. Now we've, coming across these, starting to eliminate a lot of them. They got a lot more to go because of the old meters have now, the batteries have gone out, and now they have to be replaced too. But the new ones are about more of a 15-year lifespan, and closer to 20 now on the new systems. Before it was 10, 8 to 10, and maybe to 15, but those are being eliminated. So right now, Jen's put together a package that, and Brian together, we're determining areas where we want the guys, when they're doing their meter reading, to stay consolidated in certain areas to eliminate this, jump over to this street for one house, jump over that street to one house. I'm giving both water, and both water and sewer doing it, so they're both together, collaborating, trying to consolidate the areas so that one guy can go out maybe half a day now, or one day, and get his route done, and save us a lot of time, and then back to doing our normal stuff. So it's really starting to pay off.
Are you changing out the meters, we have the extra meters for outside use?
Not right now, but I plan on down the line, I would like to do that, and upgrade those too, but right now, my main goal is to get the main stuff done first, and then we'll work on that part of it. I know what you're saying, those are
Just
The
as
sewer
well.
meters.
yeah, the ones extras. They have to jump around with the trucks and go here, go here, go here, go here, and I don't like that at all. We're working to that goal too. It just takes time. There's quite a lot out there.
Hey, George, on the meters.
Yeah.
I've seen them, they're the black readout, they have an antenna on them and everything.
That's the integrated meter.
But at one time, we were doing a lot with the radio readouts. Remember, where you could just drive through a neighborhood or whatever? And
Yeah, that is the integrated, that is the
So,
renewed.
That's the
these
new
new
stuff.
style meters we have,
There's two types that we're putting out. We're
Yeah.
putting out the integrated meters that are just the meter itself, the head itself.
Yeah.
With the antenna.
Uh-huh.
That's a self-contained unit. There's no wiring.
but you still have to go to the house with the,
No,
Oh, no.
no, that's read by the road.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, you might see some black meters in
Yeah.
there that have the newer black style,
Yeah.
but have the wire still going.
Yeah.
Some of them we're still, because they're cheaper, we're still utilizing two types. The integrated, for those that have finished basements, things that we have hard time,
Yeah.
because the guys get in
Can't
there,
get a
they,
wire.
yeah, or the ones that have an easy access to the outside boxes, and just redo those.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah, the same
Just
thing,
wondered.
they'll do the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I stopped in last week into the, one of the times I stopped into the office, and Jen told me they're popping out, between 10 and 15 meters a day, replacing them, so.
Yeah, we're
Good.
working
Yeah, if
hard,
this-
now with, unfortunately with Timmy down, we're gonna be a little bit backlog a little bit, but
But-
we'll do what we can.
That list of 5 findings that you've had from, the ones that concern me most are A and C.
Yeah,
Obviously, people are messing with it,
and this is not something
no
that's,
excuses.
this has been going on for a long time. So we're making headway on that.
Stop damage, clog, that happens.
yeah.
But
I believe we can go back 3 years, right?
Yeah. Yep. So, the rest of it, I've listed out pretty much what's going on, especially with the situation I explained before with Jeff and the treatments and things like that. I'll just say in general, right now, we're going for articles for the SRF loan, and like I said, that's all being arranged, and we're looking at how to do that. That's still in the works. The other thing is that the sampling that's being done now is gonna determine our future treatment possibilities. And I can't get into that, because I don't know yet what those are gonna be. That's gonna take a while. But we do have to make borrowing for that too, on a separate note, because that doesn't cover under SRF some of it. And I'm still versed in still trying to get more versed in this. It's very, very complicated stuff here with all this. And as Bob knows, the state is still a little bit messed up as which way they're going, but it looks like they're gonna go at a certain MCL that the EPA, I guess, has recommended back.
EPA was 70, state was setting a limit of 20.
Yeah,
They're
there
using
was some
it
other,
combined on 5, 6, I think they went to 6 different contaminants
I wish they'd go to 50.
combined, and they're still getting pushback on
Yeah.
doing them combined like that,
Yeah,
Most of the water departments are pushing, trying to say, we want them separated and put limits for individual ones instead of trying to combine them. So that regulation hasn't been finalized yet.
yeah, they still got meetings and negotiations and that stuff. So anyway, the article our budget's is getting a lot of level funding on both sides. Our revenues are pretty much matching up. The water's a little bit down a little bit, but not too much. And the sewer's doing a little bit better than it has been, considering what we got going. So we're pretty happy with that. The only articles that are going into this town meeting is for the borrowing, for the big projects, and for a pickup truck for the water department. We need a pickup truck. And I do have three bids that I did. One declined altogether. That was Prime Prime Ford out of Auburn. This is for an F-350 truck, hell heavy duty, with a plow. The one was 40 from MHQ, which is a procurement, which is, you don't have to go bidding out, but it was for 43,349, and with plow, with lights, with everything, all heavy duty. And the one that I got from Place was 39,527, which is quite a good price. That's with plow, with light setups, kits, all heavy duty. Difference between a 250 and an F-350 is $900. It's not worth it. I'm going for all heavy duty. I'm gonna be hauling pipes in this truck and everything else that I can't do with the F-150s. I have to end up using the dump truck. So, and things like that.
And personal information that I know of, one of my friends had one from a 250 to a 350 just recently, and he's having all kind of trouble plowing with it because it's going through his front ends.
The highway department has an F-350. They've had no trouble with it. This is a new style. This style's been changed over, and the motor is different now. It's a new pushrod motor
My
on this.
friend bought it beginning of last year, it's on his third front end now.
Yeah. MHQ only uses our procurements are only for Ford trucks anyway. I couldn't even get this off a Chevy. We tried that with the 206.
I'm just, information, I'm just.
Yeah,
laying it
no.
out there.
I mean, like I said, it's on warranty. If we have to get some kind of extended coverage, I will. I haven't heard any bad things about them. I heard nothing but good things. But I think it's a phenomenal price at that price for the truck with a 8-foot Fisher plow. The wing plow, the other plow wasn't recommended from the dealer because of the amount of gravel we plow, so the wing plow there. So those are the only things going in. That's the only thing as far as the articles go. I just need the approval from the board, so when I can present it to the town, the capital improvement and the town for approval by them. That would go with Place Motors for that bid. I should have made copies and I did.
What was the difference?
One was 43...
349 versus 39,527 at
Yeah.
Place Motor.
Oh.
But that was both for F-350.
Both F-350s, yeah. $900 difference if you want to go to 250.
I don't believe that, but I'm not gonna call you a liar.
Thanks, man.
Okay?
That's a big.
On another note...
No, I'm being honest about that. I know, it's more than 900.
George, since we're not going with the state one, right?
Well, that is state too. Place and MHQ are state fleet bidded.
Okay.
So they are both the same thing. People see, that's the problem, is mostly the town's been going with what used to be Plymouth County procurement. It's changed now to some other procurement, I can't remember what it is. And they're used to MHQ being the lowest and this and that, but Places now, they get a lot of their trucks from Place. It's kind of we've been playing a little bit of a middleman here. But I went over to see Phil Crowley, who's been very versed in this. He's their state guy that does all this state bidding and stuff. And he instantly took all the stuff I had and wanted, and he matched it and then beat it all. I couldn't
Is the
believe
truck
it.
on the lot?
No, they're gonna order it. Highway got their truck through Place Motor too. Danny's truck was an F-350 last year. What's that?
What color?
Green.
Grayish green.
I have to make them blue,
But yours are
jewel
blue.
blue or some,
Yeah.
the blue color for the water. That's the only thing. Everything else is,
Okay,
I tried for 19, but no.
all right, thank you, George. Comments?
Does he need a motion?
Yeah, do you need something?
I just need a motion to approve the bidder, the low bidder for that. I still have to go through capital in the town to get approval
Oh.
by them. That's all. Just so I get the board's support on it, that's all. And that's by Place Motor.
What's the pleasure?
Yeah, make a motion then, we get the superintendent to deal with Place Motors for the truck that he's picked out for the price of $39,527, to present that to the capital improvement committee. Did they say how long they're gonna hold it? a price like that?
He knows, I told him my timeframe, what I have to go through, so once I get approval
Yeah,
from
he
the
knows
town,
that,
I
yeah.
order right up. Yeah, he knows the whole process with what we're up against.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Any discussion?
The truck comes with a flat blade plow?
Yeah, standard 8-foot.
I'm good.
Okay,
Excuse me on that one, 8 foot or 9 foot?
8 foot.
8 foot.
okay. Any further discussion? Any more questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I think it's unanimous.
One more quick thing, just because I was just talking to Fred about it. I did approach Bob Levine up at the college. We're gonna, Fred had asked me about a couple things to do, and I just, I did,
We changed the rules last year where the college didn't pay before for the pump in a 10-yard road, and we got the college to pay for 2 pumps, and it's 4 times a year. So I asked George if he could take care of it, so that there's plenty of money up on that hill. They can pay for the port.
Well-
It's $600 a year, I believe.
let's see about, yeah, I'm gonna talk to him about
10-yard
the
road station.
Yeah, you know,
The only
adding a
reason
little
we're
more to
pumping
it.
that is because of them.
Yeah, and
That's
I'll
all.
contribute to a possible issue if we have a pump problem, when it costs a lot of money to pay half or whatever, you know, so they can contribute to that. And also, down at the fire station, that hydrant there, and that's not where I wanted it to go, but I kept getting this business about how the driveway was too short and wouldn't be able to go where I wanted it. So we're gonna throw a couple ballards up there. We haven't been to stock. I just gotta wait till the weather gets warm and the paving starts, because we'll have to probably pave around it. But just, it's a breakaway hydrant, like I said, if it gets hit, we can fix it. But we're gonna have to put something in, and we have to make it so that it's enough for them to put their LDH appliances on and not impede the traffic going into that driveway, because it is narrow, I mean, it's tight in there. So,
Does the highway have any old curbing
I don't
that you
know.
could put?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you
I-
could put the bollards in front of them.
Yeah, I was thinking of hoping that the ballards would be enough right in that strategically placed so that any traffic coming in wouldn't damage the hydrant. I could always ask them and see,
Well, I mean, if you had some curbing there that's hanging around,
yeah,
that's a good place to put it.
Okay,
that's enough.
and there's no public, so any board member comments?
I just asked Jen, have we had any complaints
No,
on the new billing cycle?
just a couple people who like George said, they had leaks
Back then you
and,
discovered problems in the house.
right,
Yeah.
but for the most part, no. It's been rather smooth.
The only reason I asked that, I've been told some other towns do give discounts. I don't want to get into that on their water and sewer rates.
That's for sure.
I've been asked that.
We
By,
used to have one on the sewer,
Oh, you did?
senior citizen $5.
Did you see
Once
this?
discussion, we decided to give everybody the $5 discount.
Did you see that?
What's that?
Did you
I
see
just
this?
wondered, it's been brought up to me a couple of times, you know?
Jed, have you seen this? It's in your packet.
Well, it's in the package, I didn't actually crack the
Well,
numbers.
take a look at it.
You know?
Yeah, just to,
It's one of our,
I've been looking at this,
Is that
and
one-
You need
without,
to look at the bottom of it.
without talking about the location, it looked pretty normal right along. What happened on line 15 that caused such a,
Is that one of the ones that you found?
was that a leak?
Major leak,
Was it?
majorly.
major leak.
Okay.
This is like I said, back in the day, they used to just estimate these, and, you know, if they wasn't getting an accurate reading, they would just estimate it, it's been going a long time. Instead of putting new meters in and getting the right readings, it started, you know,
They're still paying for this water, right?
Well, you were supposed to come in, that's why
it's
it's
supposed to
here,
come in.
but they didn't. But, no, I was just, I go out.
We assisted with that service way back with days of me and Al, because it goes through the whole field. And he was doing the thing with his little tractor, and we didn't want it to get messed up, so we actually spent half a day helping him do that. And what we didn't realize was back towards where the pit is, there's a whole bunch of tee-offs to what was a property that's been plugged up way back, and it started leaking, and it was still charged, and it just gushed into the pit. We were like getting like Mount Vesuvius in there. It was like incredible the amount of water was coming through. fix that. Even though it was his problem, I said, no, we're gonna fix it right now. I don't wanna keep having this going on. I'm losing water. But then something else happened. We had to go back over here, contractor had to go back in and fix it again. Another part of it went, it's all old and it's all deteriorated. So it should be better now. But like I said, the meter is there for a reason. Our pits are there at 100 feet because this kind of thing happens in lines to people's houses where it may be a break between the shut off and the house. We don't know about it because there's no meter there, and we could be losing water nonstop. So for certain distances, we have to require that.
That's probably a 500-foot run, at least,
Yeah,
from
at
the meter
least.
pit to the properties through a field.
And there's another issue with that too, because the house across the street, it tees off, and they were sharing their costs because we're family members. Well, they're not gonna be family members anymore, there's gonna be somebody else in that house. So they approached me about it and says, how can we split this off so we can pay our own bills when somebody new moves in there? I says, easy. I said, you're gonna have to put a separate meter in the pit and run a separate line to the T where it tees and then connect into that. There's no other way. I haven't heard back from it yet. It's still, that's gonna come up soon.
Why can't you put a meter in the other house that wants to be sold and someone's responsible, like the
There's-
landlord, to do
it's-
the reading on it?
It's the same footage,
Just
it's
bill
the
it.
same
Put their
run.
own, and then you separate it
And then
out,
you
so-
separate it, you do a deduction.
Yeah, you guys still gotta put a separate line in through there, because the pit has to be installed in the pit. It's the same run.
No,
Say
what
500
Jay's saying is give him his own meter and let him deal with separating out the
That's
rest.
fine
If they're talking.
if they're talking.
Yeah.
Old neighbors don't get along.
Yeah, the
and
problem is, becomes
I
into
don't
play,
want you,
Jay.
you're not using my
And we don't want to be in the middle of
The
that.
problem
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
into play
yeah,
on
yeah,
that
yeah.
only because if there's a leak again in the field or something, then it's
Yeah.
gonna be, well, why is all this happening? It's your fault, your line, your responsibility, is all the fighting. We don't want that, we just
Really
separate
well.
Separate them up.
them out, totally.
You deliver the water to
Okay.
the wall, and that's it.
That's it.
Okay, with no other business,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
All right.